Thank you, sir. I'm pleased to present the fiscal year 2027 National Security, Department of State and Related Programs Appropriations Bill to the House for consideration and for approval. Now, let me start by noting the untimely, sad passing of our friend and colleague, Senator Lindsey Graham. As chairman of the State Foreign Operations Subcommittee in the Senate, he was my counterpart. We worked together closely in our top priority, the national security of the United States. Senator Graham was a tough negotiator, but always an honorable partner. He will be greatly missed, and our thoughts and prayers are with his family, his staff, and those who knew and loved him. At the outset, I want to thank Chairman Cole for his invaluable leadership and commitment to ensuring that Congress upholds its responsibility to provide the tools necessary to safeguard our national security, along also with his partner in this endeavor, Ranking Member DeLauro. I also want to thank Ranking Member of the subcommittee, Ranking Member Frankel, for her outstanding, long-standing relationship that her and I have. We've been friends for many years, for her valuable contributions during the bill development process. I will tell you, anybody who knows Lois Frankel, she is tough, but she's always trustworthy. Mr. Chairman, this bill is very straightforward. If you're a friend or an ally of the United States, this bill supports you. But if you are an adversary or you're cozying up to our adversaries, the adversaries of the United States, then frankly, you're just not going to like this bill. This bill is the next step in strengthening our national security while reducing spending. Under Chairman Cole's leadership, House Republicans have delivered nearly $12 billion in responsible cuts within the purview of this subcommittee just since 2023. The fiscal year 27 bill continues this work with another $2.7 billion in reductions. Yet, our national security priorities are funded at or above prior year levels. The bill maintains $1.8 billion for partners in the Indo-Pacific, including $500 million in military assistance for Taiwan. It provides unwavering support for Israel and fully funds the United States-Israel Memorandum of Understanding by providing $3.3 billion in security assistance. And recognizing the valuable partnerships in the Western Hemisphere, which continue to expand and realign under the leadership of President Trump and Secretary Marco Rubio, the bill again increases support for our friends and allies such as Paraguay, Argentina, and Costa Rica. And as part of this effort, the bill increases funds to fight the trafficking of fentanyl, which has devastated every community and so many families across America. It also continues strong support for a democratic transition to freedom for the people of Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua. And it supports religious freedom in Nigeria and around the world. Last year, the NSRP subcommittee, as we like to call it, focused on responsibly transitioning PEPFAR. That program, PEPFAR, to transition it to capable partners and to countries that are capable of doing more. PEPFAR is a great success story, but I think most of us would agree that the program or any program cannot just go on forever in perpetuity. So working alongside the administration, countries are now investing significant resources of their own towards their own health, allowing this committee to reduce funding, but this is key, while maintaining the same outcomes. Just as critical is what the bill, frankly, just as critical, let me restate that, as what the bill funds, I've talked about some of that, is what this bill does not fund, and how it demands accountability for every single tax dollar. The bill prohibits funds to the People's Republic of China, the Communist Chinese Party, and from being used by other countries to repay the debt owed to Communist China. It also prohibits lending to the PRC within the multilateral development banks, something that we shouldn't have to do. This bill does it, however. The bill continues a key provision adopted in the previous year, that blocks assistance to anyone that supports, finances, or facilitates the operations of the Cuban military. It prohibits all assistance to the Taliban and puts Americans first by withholding funds from Mexico until water owed to the United States is finally delivered. Assessed funds to the United Nations is cut by $1.8 billion. No funds are included for the United Nations regular budget. And funds are prohibited to organizations such as the World Health Organization, the United Nations Relief and Work Agency, known as UNRWA, which actively contradict U.S. priorities and national security interests. The bill helps secure justice for victims of the October 7th, 2023 terrorist attack, which, by the way, includes 50 murdered Americans, by requiring full accountability for UNRWA staff involved. A key measure from last year's bill, which was enacted into law in fiscal year 26, is also maintained in this one, requiring the Secretary of State to consider the UN voting record of countries in determining the allocation of funds. The bill supports full implementation of key executive orders that reflect a clear commitment to a secure border, limited government, free speech, and ending censorship, and ending DEI programs, and so much more. Finally, Mr. Chairman, the bill maintains all long-standing pro-life provisions. It prohibits funds to the UN Population Fund and upholds the President's policy on protecting life in foreign assistance. These measures, Mr. Chairman, alongside enhanced oversight and transparency, ensure American taxpayer dollars do not fund abortions, a policy that Americans overwhelmingly support. Now, before closing, Mr. Chairman, I want to thank the staff of the committee on both sides of the aisle for their hard work. I frankly sometimes think that they're not human. They're just, their work ethic is really beyond compare, and one cannot thank them enough. So I want to thank the staff. Mr. Chairman, I commend the Speaker for bringing this crucial legislation to the floor. It supports our allies and protects our national security in a smart, efficient, and thoughtful way. I urge my colleagues to support this bill, and with that, Mr. Chairman, I reserve the balance of my time.